Because Mr. Mason,
They even love the pet
because
name. Listen, Crystal, they
Mm-hmm.
even love the pet name that my children give me. You're not
Mm-hmm.
promoting them now.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Right?
yeah.
It's my attitude why you love me.
Wow,
Mm-hmm.
wow.
Isn't it?
I wonder why Mr. Han love you and Mr. Mason and Mrs. Jules. I wonder why.
Well, this is what I tell you. I am well loved
Wow,
right across the board. And
wow.
I ain't gonna do not. These are people who I don't even know
I want,
and love me all.
I
You
want to,
understand?
yeah, I want how your
Mr.
friend
Hahn
doing
want
this
to end
morning.
his life with me.
Wow.
Good
I,
morning, Mr.
I don't
Mason.
know
How
why we
are
don't have
you?
a dating segment.
so we're gonna do it with conversations.
No, Mr. Sis is my comrade.
That's a political love.
No.
What's really going
Yes,
on
yes.
here?
Yeah, that's a political love. Okay, right,
Yeah,
right.
my political love.
And
You understand what I'm saying?
and the one who you
So
don't
so
love
here what happened?
politically, the one who you don't
You
love
might got
politically.
you might got drop out the race to my competition.
Yeah. No, I want to be in the sinker league category.
What is that
What?
category?
Tell me.
People
What is his category?
who could win the seat but if their party can't form government.
Oh, I see. It's true. But right. So what you gonna do? Yell and kick and scream? That ain't gonna take you no place because you won't have any opposition because I not in that.
No,
I just walk away.
I could just cry
So I
like
don't
I
cry.
could like cry like a baby and I hope that people accept it and rent.
Hello?
I was come like stepping razor who think that having a car is a big development in St. Vincent and Grenadines. A car that is 20 years old.
But Kingsley, listen to me. I didn't even want to go down the political road this morning. But it's
Yeah, you
true.
don't have to.
Kingsley, Stephen is not wrong. Because Kingsley here they say if you used to walk to work every day and you end up and even buy a scooter, Kingsley, a bicycle or a motorbike, it's an upliftment. You go a
Wow.
step higher. It have people who couldn't drive, who couldn't afford to buy a car, and they could now. So that is an upliftment, Kingsley.
Yeah, okay, 22 years after. Right, okay. Right.
Kings, Kingsley, every step that you make up the ladder, it helps you to the top, my friend. It's an upliftment.
Okay. I'm
You don't
convinced.
see it that way?
I'm convinced now, yeah. Since you say so and separate say so, I'm convinced.
But Kingsley, no, you don't have to take it for us to convince you, Kingsley. Listen, Kingsley, in my days growing up, all when you're 60 years old, you now don't pay for one little squat of land to build a house. Sometimes you die and somebody else. Now 20-something-year-old people have house.
Yeah, okay, right. Thank God for the low income and no income houses there. Okay, right. So
It's still house. I don't care where it be. I wish that I had one. I grew up in a mattress box.
okay, then they will probably change your
Me and my
mind then.
sister had to take spell to sleep.
Okay, all right.
But we may do until we could do better. You
Yeah.
understand what
Yes,
I'm saying? So
yes,
I know what you're talking about.
yes.
Come off a Stephen Razor. He's right.
Okay.
I'm in his
All
corner with
right.
that. No, it's true. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and done with the politics thing today. Yeah.
All
So
right.
don't class me with the people them who have to buy their way out. Okay. I just have to smile. But Crystal,
Yes,
what happened
please.
to he now? He ain't sure where he stand up or he sit down and so you worry. They say who had good foot take it front. Listen, I'm gone. I'm listening. Kingsley, you have a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah,
I'll
thank you.
talk to you later.
All
Crystal,
right.
enjoy your weekend and stay well.
Yes,
Thanks.
ma'am. Thank you. Same to you.
You same. Bye.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.
4579994. Send your thoughts there. I'll give us a call at 4579997.
Crystal and Kingsley, being honest here, I think the vendors have to cover the cost of doing their business. I think they have to make a profit to stay in business.
Our business is about making money and profit. So I don't know what the post is implying. And we're not suggesting that the farmers and vendors shouldn't make a profit, but they should look at my eye to make sure that they get rich. That's what she said? Okay, all right. Anyone else responding?
You
Yeah.
see the thing to it. Uh, the cost. Okay. Call coming. So let me take it. Hello. Good morning.
Morning, Crystal.
Good morning, sir.
And morning, Kingsley.
Morning, sir.
Crystal,
Morning.
I see Kingsley wanted to have you in a court between two lovers scenario.
I know. Whenever I see it happening, I just take 3 steps back. Yeah. How are you this morning? It's been a minute.
I'm there. By the grace of the Father, without His blessings, and we give Him praise every morning and thanks every evening. We know it, but some people behave like fowls. They just get up off the bed, shake their feathers, and they go on their way for the day and expect everything will be okay. But it doesn't happen this way. Crystal, when will we, as a people, get serious about fixing the public bus system in St. Vincent and the Grenadines?
I had a feeling that's where you were going. I had a feeling. Before 8 o'clock at 7:30, there was a little bit of extra time in the morning this morning here, and I actually touched on the most recent incident where Sergeant Jones would have shared during traffic talk that there was a total of 15 persons who were hospitalized when a minibus overturned. The same minibus that got into a little bit of trouble at the end of January, when a video was circulated that caught the bus in action, turning around the corner on 2 wheels with passengers in the bus. Same van. It's almost as if it was destined to just overturn.
You see, Crystal, I am not even looking at government, and by that I'm speaking both the cabinet of ministers and the opposition. And I'm actually deliberately leaving the police out of this argument this morning. I'm speaking about we, the people who travel every day, civil servants, private sector workers, students, farmers, fisher folk, you name it, who travel on the buses every day. Who are the source of the financial earnings of bus operators? When will we get serious and demand that not just there is an improved service, but there is more discipline on the bus stand? Let me put this in perspective. 3 of the most indisciplined bus systems in the region in recent times, and you have to look at Dominica, you have to look at Jamaica, you have to look at Guyana. I'm talking about outside St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Right now, St. Lucia, Guyana, Jamaica, and even Dominica have literally become model systems for the region. In Guyana, buses lined up. In Dominica, they line up, and you will not hear no loud music on a bus. In Jamaica, you will not hear the nonsense that is being played on majority of the buses while operating. And they line up. Why cannot it be done here? People will tell me, oh, they try to form organization. Kingsley is part of a taxi association. Crystal, you have experience in administration. How can you form a national body and you do not have a foundation to sustain this national body? And this is the major problem with organizing the bus system here. First they had NOBA, then they changed the color of the skin and the name of the animal to Vintas. But it's just the same. But where are the root associations?
Is Vintas
to help you
Vintas
sustain
still
the
exists?
administration? Well, on paper.
Because I know they don't have a former president.
You know, and you keep telling them
Mr.
that.
Adams?
Roy Ron resigned.
Well,
Oh, okay.
yeah. You see, because reforming a bus system takes time and takes understanding.
Yep.
From experience in St. Lucia, it took us, and I'm speaking about those of us who started working towards that, 1986, 87 thereabout, till about 2001. And our major problem then in St. Lucia were not bus operators, because it was bus operators who initiated the process after getting licks from the St. Lucian public. The problem were public servants. Harris and Vincent and the Grenadines. It is not the case. The major hurdle or hurdles are bus operators themselves. Some of them want it. I speak to them, but what they say, I have to sustain my livelihood. I cannot just sit back on the bus and allow those indisciplined ones to just come and fill up and go. I have at the end of the day to make $1 to sustain my family and maintain my business.
It's almost like the situation that we're experiencing with vendors. If you stay in the market, you don't make as much money. You go out when you're not supposed to. They're making more money than you are, so then you're left with no choice.
But you know what? Hold on. But some of the vendors that have been put in the market have employed runners on the road. Some of the vendors in the market who have stalls have employed runners on the road with trolleys. And they are causing the problem.
Okay.
And some of the problems caused is the way that whole issue was handled. I don't want to go into detail.
Right.
Because that is for another show.
Right. So that's not segue too much.
Had it been handled the way was originally envisaged, there wouldn't be all those problems. I have not said anything regarding that issue publicly. I'm saying it for the first time, and I hope those who hear it will take this as a warning to fix the problem. While the vendors themselves are a problem, some of them, not all, some of them, there is also an administrative problem. And I am going to say no more on that for now.
You mentioned you mentioned that there's a little lag, so it might come across as cutting cross. But you mentioned though that the people have to come together if they want to see a change in the kind of system and the culture that we have.
What I mean come together? There is not that sustained cry for change in the behavior of bus operators and conductors.
No, and the reason for that is because you have two different sets of people. There are some people who don't mind, who don't care, and there are those who mind and care. And it appears as though the people who don't mind have a lot more power in the situation. If it's one thing, from time to time we complain about whenever it's time for minibus drivers to come together. We complain and say that they're not one unit, they don't come together for a common good. If you pay attention to how they operate on the roads, you would get that there is some sort of unison among a group of the van drivers.
Some time ago, I was traveling out of town early morning and I was on the Leeward bus stop. And there, I will not call the name of the school. There was this student, a female, with a mom, and the mom is telling her, take this bus. And she's actually telling her mom, no. When the mom continued to say, Mom, this driver and his conductor have no respect for passengers, they drive reckless, and the music does be too loud. A female student at a secondary school.
Oh, good for her.
Told her mother she is not boarding that bus. She actually boarded a bus. An elderly gentleman was driving. Someone probably in his 50s thereabouts. She boarded the bus. And I said, that is very, very telling. So the traveling public have a role to play in getting the system fixed without bus operators losing an income. The traveling public. Because each and every one of you who enters the bus, once you enter the bus, you enter into an agreement with the operator. And they are contracted to get you to your destination safely and comfortably. Failure to do so calls for action. I am not calling for bus drivers and conductors to be cussed and insulted. No. But it is time that we individually and collectively put our foot down to protect the lives of persons and even the lives of bus operators. We need to get serious.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in closing, there is a school of thought that one of the reasons why action is not taken against bus operators or some bus operators is because some buses are owned by police officers.
That is nonsense.
I agree, Kingsley, and I've said so. The law is the law. We have the same situation in St. Lucia where police officers, I remember a friend of mine, he owned 3 buses on a particular route. And he was subjected to disciplinary action when his bus drivers broke the law. It is time that when bus operators fall short, that it is not just the license of the drivers that is suspended, but the bus is taken off the road.
Mm-hmm.
Because if operator owners cannot control the persons they employ to drive for them, then they should feel the pain in their pockets.
It is more financially viable, though, Robertson, to just keep issuing tickets over and over and over to the same bus drivers.
Okay, look, in Jamaica, recently, there were some drivers that had over 300 unpaid tickets, and the authorities began clamping down. When you issue a bus operator a ticket, he doesn't pay it. He decides to challenge it. He goes to court. There is loss of time on both sides because the driver has to go to court and sometimes the conductor too. So the owner of the bus loses income. The judicial system has to process that charge. Okay? And then the bus operator, the driver, may be fined more than the ticket. Now, in some cases, bus operators have heard saying that they can make one trip and pay off a ticket, $80. Maybe it is time the authorities go the way of St. Lucia. The ticket is from $250 to $500. Because buses being driven at high speed and with reckless abandonment becomes a legal and moving weapon, becomes a threat to other road users. It is simple. Kingsley is a driver, he will tell you. because you driving along the road and the road is miles an hour, overtaken anyhow, anyway, vis-a-vis another vehicle that is driving at 90 miles an hour, and the driver is driving intelligently. There are vehicles in front of him, he taps his brakes, he slows down. He does not overtake around blind corners. There's a difference between driving and driving fast, intelligently, and driving fast with reckless abandonment. And let me say this, it is not this current government that put it in place. But persons need to understand it is even more critical that buses are handled properly, because according to the system here, buses are overloaded beyond the manufacturer's recommendations. And as a result, you have greater stress on the workings, the mechanical workings of the bus, the body, and everything else. So it is even critical that drivers pay more attention. Maybe the authorities need to go the way that to drive an omnibus, you must have at least 5 years driving experience, and then you have to undergo a test before you are issued a license to drive an omnibus. You cannot be a conductor today and next week you get a license to drive an omnibus.
The requirements though for an omnibus license. Now it costs you $100. You have to do a physical exam, not body exam, but a test, and then you do your road test. The minimum age requirement from the police is 25 years.
But no driving experience.
Once you
No
pass the
driving
test, once you pass
experience.
the road test, you're driving a van on the road as a road test. Once you pass it, once you meet the
No,
other
that has to
requirements.
change. 25 years with at least 5 years driving experience.
Would that help? Would that 5 years experience help?
Yes, it helps.
Raise
It
the
helps.
age to 30. And
I
give me
will
10
not
years
even look at the age
experience too.
because, well,
I prefer
that would
10
be
years,
debatable.
10 years driving experience.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, Crystal, how can you take somebody who just because they're 25 years and pass a physical test, be given a license to drive an omnibus and have in their hands the well-being of so many persons, not just the persons on the bus, but other road users. And I have said before that the rock gutter incident a few years ago, if we do not address the many issues surrounding the system, we will have more accidents and even more deaths. Let me repeat it, and that goes for everyone. The rock gutter incident, if we do not learn lessons from it, and if we do not address the many issues associated with the system, we will continue to have many bus accidents and even more deaths.
Should have given us a trigger warning there, Robertson. But that rock gutter incident, I think there were a bit more things in it than just like reckless driving. I think there were some more pointers to that story, but we won't go down in that this morning.
That is where I am going, Crystal. I don't want to go into detail.
Right,
but I'm not just saying not just who is driving, but maintenance. You know, there's a number of things around this. And Kingsley ain't saying anything, but Kingsley knows where I'm coming from. But we as a people, and it is not political, it is not religious. We as a people, I do not have to like you. You do not have to like me. But we have to work together as a people to improve the lives and livelihoods of everyone in this country. The tools are there, the resources are there. What it takes is for us to remove the jaundice lens through which we view life and view each other daily, and remove the religious cloaks that we carry on our shoulders and work with each other. Or else we will continue blaming government, we will point the police force, was failures to work as a people to improve life.
All right.
Christal and Kingsley, have a nice day. And Kingsley, do not put Christal in your caught between two lovers.
All right, thank you so much,
Have a blessed
Robertson.
weekend.
All right, brother.
You have a wonderful weekend.
Well,
In case-
all I have to add to that, if when you come to town to do shopping,
Make sure you catch your race, boss.
pick and choose your vans. That is what
Listen.
eventually came out of that discussion. Pick and choose your vans, okay? Yeah.
Man, I don't know how else we're going
If you
to
call it from
solve.
the Caloca side, use Jicky. If you call it from up my side, Billy Fountain, use Gustas. What are you gonna say? He just drive too slow. Okay, all right. If you call it from Fayhad, use Gavin. You don't have no choice, guys. He's probably one of the two vans in that area. Okay, right. Just pick and choose your vans, yeah?
If people don't want to stand up for what is best for themselves, despite of whatever you have going on in the background, then the system has to be able to jump in at this time to say what is best for the people, despite the backlash that might come from the people and the drivers and the conductors and everybody involved, despite all of that. You make more money by just issuing tickets every single day, multiple times a day to van drivers. One time a van driver tell me when he reached $1,000, he said, nah, that is it. Then he cool out on the road.
Somebody trying to call you.
Something else. We have 3 minutes, right? So the call has to be 1 minute. I can't even play anything else after this. Hello, good morning.
Christal, morning to you and Kingsley.
Morning. We have a minute here.
I heard you.
Mhm.
I just want to say though that I heard a fair amount to the contribution that the caller just made,
Mhm.
and he was able to highlight all the problems.
Mhm.
But what I like about callers is when they highlight the problems, they should also come with solutions. And I didn't hear him with a lot of solutions, if any at all. So the next time he come on the air, hello?
I think I kind of picked up what he was alluding to, as in people need to stand up and say like enough is enough for this thing, and to do something a bit more than one or two people just complaining. That's what I gathered from his discussion.
I gather that too. But I also want to hear him come with some solutions to the multitude of problems that we are having on the roads, not only with public service vehicles, but with private vehicles as well. And I would like to hear him come the next time and give us some solutions. Anyway, Kingsley, morning to you, and morning to Anita. Anita, stay safe and stay warm. Christal,
Yes, sir.
I will hear you next week.
Monday. God's willing.
Monday, oh yeah, Monday.
Yeah.
I listen to you on Wednesday.
All right.
And a part of yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, guys,
Thank you so much,
stay
man.
safe until next week.
All right. Take care. All right. A quick one. You have 1 minute, few seconds.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
I know what this gentleman is saying about the first caller. I think is correct, but there are solutions if things are enforced. Let me just, I know quick, I don't have much time, but let me say this. I came home last year and I spent $4,700 paying a taxi, not a taxi, sorry, a rental, because of the way people drive down there. And that money could have been spent other ways. Now here's the solution to the problem. The government must enforce laws by posting speed limit and have enforcers like police in cars here and there. I know we don't have a lot of money and a whole lot of vehicles, but 1 or 2 cars here and there, and issue a ticket to reckless drivers. Now, when they receive the ticket, they go to the court, they paid for the first time. If they commit the same crime again, the price must be increased. After a certain period of time, their license must be suspended or possibly revoked. The insurance company must increase the premium on the vehicle so that if I am driving for you, Crystal, then you are going to be serious about my driving as an owner. And if I continue to drive, so you get an increase in your policy, in your premium, then you're going to switch me and take me off the run and put somebody else to do the work. These are the ways things are going to happen. You live in America, if you get a ticket, a speeding ticket, you pay for it, and a point goes on your license. So your license have like 12 points, 11 or 12 points. Anytime you get 8 or 9 points, your license suspended automatically. You gotta go to court. They suspend your license for 6 months or a year, so you can't drive. We have to enforce the laws. It's not the people who are enforcing it. They're not the people who are going to make the difference. It's the authorities. The lawmakers make the law. The law enforcement enforce the law, and watch and see if that happens. If things not going to be different. God bless you guys. Have a
All
good
right,
day.
thank you so much. And with that, we're gonna wrap things up.
Yeah, but what the laws call us to make 100%. The laws are on the books for persons when they commit some real traffic offense, but the police need to enforce them. We hear from the Royal Timbers and they go in the traffic department every morning here. Straight up, how's the traffic report, blah, blah, blah. The tip that they give, sometimes I wonder, but we have to find ways and methods to deal with the drivers who violate the traffic regulation.
Ticket, Kingsley, ticket.
Ticket is like is making sure that the traffic department generates some money for the government.
It has to be. It has to be, because does it stop the problem? Does it minimize the problem? No.
I agree. It doesn't mean any driver says
It's not a great enough deterrent, because they just get the ticket and they go back on the road. The same time, they just continue driving as normal, as their normal, which is not supposed to be a normal.
Well, I tell you something. I know former Chief Magistrate Simone Sharman is listening in England because she normally follows on a Friday morning. When she sat here as the serious offense magistrate at the time, when persons were given summary offenses, she used to try them and throw the books at them, increase their fines from $250 to $500, and that used to create a deterrent. But all of a sudden, I agree with you that the ticketing system appears that it's only want to generate some money from each of the department, and that's it when it comes to the rules and regulation, of course, of violating traffic rules. It's 13 minutes, 13 seconds on to 10 o'clock. It's time for me to take the step out to the rear, and lots of response there, but Crystal, we
This
get
person really wants me to read it. Good morning. I think Tombo needs to do something better with some of the vendors, because the lady, somebody has to pay $90 every Monday, and they're making noise with her for money. And when she comes, she can't get her spot. You think Tom Board should make the lady get her spot when she comes? If she's paying, she should get the spot.
She should have a spot.
If she can't get her spot, then she doesn't pay.
If she pay, that's how that amount of money. It should be resolved, especially for her. Yeah, and I think
because she's paying for it.
Yeah.
So reserved.
Yeah.
Put down your cones or whatever, your barricade, because and then when.
If you notice something, Christian, if you pass right up the courthouse in Kingston, there are certain vans that park there every day, and they're paying for a particular spot.
Paying for a spot. The spot is yours.
You're paying for a spot,
not
but
paying.
you have to reach down 4 in the morning to get your spot. That's unfair. Yeah. So I see you on Tuesday morning.
Have a good weekend, sir. All right. Now, boy, we are out of time. Our sincerest apologies. All right. But before we go, Yeah, some more responses are there of like voice notes, but we can't play them. We just have to leave them until another time. But thank you so much for your calls, responses, and your WhatsApp messages. Let me just share with you this one here coming up in this weekend's edition for the Searchlight newspaper. Minivan overturns, injuring several, including students. Partially blind man jailed for possession of illegal weapon. Wildlife on Union Island, environmentalists versus poachers. Youth who escaped police custody sent for psychiatric evaluation. St. Lucia votes to make the CCJ the country's final court. Farmer loses animals, blames devilish activity. Lawyer and MP seeking to challenge ban on parking in the courthouse yard. 17 new records set at Central Leeward Secondary School athletics meet. More sports opinions, advice, and the learning page is back. Remember, you can get Searchlight online and at newsstands everywhere. Remember to check out our video stories on YouTube and download the free Searchlight app to access our e-paper and get breaking news and updates. Searchlight, journalism you can trust.
WeFM 99.9, home of quality programming, a source of reliable news and information, home of leader voices and music. WeFM 99.9, the clean fresh sound. Visit us online at www